Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a goal that I think is at the top of the list for so many of our listeners, getting genuinely fluent in English.
Hmm.
And if you're like most people, you probably have this idea that fluency is this big destination.
Mm.
You go abroad for a year, you spend a fortune on classes, and then boom, a light switch flips.
Yeah, but the data and really all the stories from people who've actually done it themselves, that model is it's completely wrong.
It really is. The source material we've gathered shows that fluency isn't a jump. It's more of a slow, steady climb. It's built day by day through these small but really powerful daily habits.
And that's the mission today, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our mission is to unpack 7 of these habits, specific things you can actually do that will transform your confidence, your clarity, and you don't need to move abroad or take expensive classes to get there.
It's all about turning that big, scary effort into a simple routine.
Okay, let's unpack this.
So where do we start?
Let's start with the foundation. Why habits? Why are these small daily actions so much more powerful than, say, a marathon study session on the weekend?
This is the absolute core mindset shift. I mean, people always mix up intensity with consistency. They think, oh, I'll just study for 4 hours straight on Saturday, and that'll make up for doing nothing the other 6 days.
The cramming approach.
Exactly. And it's the fastest way to burn out. Your brain just can't absorb and, integrate information in those huge spaced out chunks. It doesn't work.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, you can feel that friction when you try to cram anything, really.
Of course. The best analogy we found in the sources is, believe it or not, brushing your teeth.
Okay.
You'd never, ever skip brushing your teeth all week and then try to do it for like an hour on Sunday to make up for it, right?
Of course not. That's absurd.
It's absurd. You do it for 2 minutes every morning, 2 minutes every night. And that small, consistent daily action is what keeps everything healthy. It's the same principle.
That immediately reframes the whole thing. It's not about finding 4 hours. It's about finding 2 minutes.
Precisely. And when you do that, a few things happen. First, English stops being this separate, stressful subject and just becomes part of your life. Second, you stop feeling so overwhelmed. And maybe the best part is you start to improve without even noticing it. Your confidence just grows naturally.
So fluency is basically a muscle, and these habits are the daily workout.
That's it. You're just strengthening it day by day.
All right, let's get into the practical stuff then, the active habits. Habit number 1 is probably the one everyone fears the most. Speak English every day.
Mm.
And the pushback is always, but I don't have anyone to practice with.
Right. And the sources address this head on. The goal at first isn't to have a perfect conversation. It's about self-practice. You just need to get used to the sound of your own voice speaking English.
Okay, so how do you do that without a partner?
The sources give 4 great techniques. The first one is, honestly, just talk to yourself. Narrate what you're doing. I'm making coffee now. I am walking to the bus stop. It sounds silly, but it works.
The second one is mirror talk, right? This one feels a little strange.
It is strange at first, but it's so effective. You stand in front of a mirror and practice expressions, body language, and just watch how your mouth forms English sounds.
Right.
You're training the muscles in your face.
Okay, that makes sense. And the other 2?
A bit more structured. Pick a topic every day, maybe a news headline, and just talk about it out loud for 5 or 10 minutes. And the last one, which takes a little courage.
Record yourself.
Record yourself, not to post online, just for you.
Mm-hmm.
The point of all this is simply to get your brain and your mouth working together on a consistent basis.
Which leads perfectly into habit 2. Listen to English daily. This one feels like the easiest one to integrate.
Oh, it is, because you can stack it on top of other things.
Stacking.
Right.
You can do it while you're cooking, on your commute, at the gym.
You're using time that's already there, but what's really key is how you listen. So, yes, podcasts, audiobooks, movies, but the sources also stress listening to songs while you read the lyrics.
Why that specifically?
Because it helps your brain connect the sound to the written word. It trains your recognition speed.
And there's a more active technique in here, too, called shadowing.
Shadowing is a game changer. It's where you listen to a sentence and then you immediately repeat it, trying to mimic the speaker's rhythm and intonation exactly.
So you're not just listening, you're physically copying the sounds.
Exactly. It bypasses that part of your brain that wants to translate everything first.
Which is a perfect segue to habit 3. Think in English. This has got to be the biggest mental hurdle for learners.
It is the hurdle. The reason people sound hesitant is because they're running this constant translation service in their head. Hear English, translate, think of a reply, translate it back, then speak.
It's exhausting just describing it. So how do you break that cycle?
You start incredibly small. Don't try to think complex thoughts. Just start by naming things you see around you in English, in your head. Chair, lamp, coffee.
That's it.
That's where you start. Then you level up to narrating your actions in your mind. I'm walking to work. Then you start asking and answering simple questions in your head. The goal is to slowly switch your inner monologue over to English.
So when you go to speak, the thought is already in English. There's nothing to translate.
Exactly. It's the ultimate fluency shortcut.
Now for habit 4, which is kind of the physical version of that, read out loud.
Right. And this is so important. Reading silently helps your comprehension, sure, but it does absolutely nothing for your speaking muscles.
Your voice needs a workout too.
Your voice, your jaw, your tongue, they all need the practice. So you find an article, a short story, anything, and you read it out loud.
And the key is not to rush it, right?
Absolutely not. Go slowly. Focus on making each sound clearly. This is about training for clarity, not speed. Record yourself doing it and listen back. You'll hear the improvement week by week.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, moving into strategy. Habit 5, learn phrases, not just words.
This is such a big giveaway of a fluent speaker versus a learner. Learners often focus on single vocabulary words. Fluent speakers think in
Chunks.
Yeah, phrases. So a learner might know the word going. A native speaker just pulls out the whole chunk. How's it going? They don't have to build the sentence. It's already there.
Like a linguistic shortcut.
It's exactly that. Your brain is efficient. It loves shortcuts. So instead of just learning a verb, you learn the whole expression. Let me think about it. Could you repeat that, please? It depends.
So the action step here is to keep a phrase notebook.
Yes. When you hear a useful phrase, write the whole thing down, not just one word from it.
Okay, habit 6 brings us back to something we mentioned earlier. Record yourself and listen back. But this is more about analysis.
It is. And look, we know this feels weird. Nobody likes the sound of their own recorded voice.
Right. And what if I just hear all my mistakes? Isn't that discouraging?
That's the key. You have to reframe it. You're not recording to judge yourself. You're recording to collect data. It's objective. It's not, oh, I'm bad at this. It's, okay, I see I consistently mispronounce the sound. I can work on that.
It becomes an analytical tool, not an emotional one.
Exactly. And you can spot things you would never notice otherwise. Long pauses, filler words like, grammar mistakes that just slip out.
So the tip is just do it for like a minute a week and then compare your recording from this month to 3 months from now.
And that's where the real motivation comes from, seeing that tangible progress.
Which brings us to the final one, the anchor that holds it all together. Habit 7, be consistent and patient.
This is the big picture. Fluency isn't a destination you arrive at. It's the result of all these small things done every single day with a positive mindset.
The goal isn't perfection.
Never. The goal is progress. Some days will feel hard. Some days you'll feel like you're going backwards. That is totally normal. The key is just to show up for your 10 minutes the next day.
And what about mistakes? People are terrified of making mistakes.
You have to reframe mistakes. A mistake isn't failure. It's proof that you're trying. It's evidence you're pushing yourself. I mean, even native speakers make mistakes all the time.
If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning.
You're just staying in your comfort zone.
So what does this all mean? The big takeaway from this deep dive seems pretty clear. Fluency is a habit. It's not a talent you're born with.
It's just a muscle you build over time. And every fluent speaker you admire was once a beginner who made thousands and thousands of mistakes. You have to celebrate the small wins.
Okay, so for your next step, don't try to do all 7 of these tomorrow. That's just overwhelming. Choose just one.
Just why?
Maybe it's listening to a podcast on your commute, or just thinking of 3 things in English before you go to sleep. Pick one, make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. And then, once it's automatic, maybe you add another.
And that's where the magic is. The compounding effect. Think about it. If you commit to just thinking in English for 5 minutes every single day, how quickly do you think that inner voice of yours is going to shift from that slow, painful translation to just natural thought?
That's the power of the daily habit. You've got this. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.